And I know for me, I definitely still to this day have uncomfortable thoughts or memories, and I will consciously think like, I don't want to think about this right now. I'm just going to bury that, just push it deep back down somewhere because I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to have to feel a certain way. I just want to ignore it and deny and suppress my emotions, which is not healthy by any means. Everyone, my name is Monica, and thank you so much for spending some time with me today. So in today's video, I want to talk about keeping your heart chakra open. And what inspired me to make this video today is this incredible book that I got from the library that is my favorite book that I've read in a long time. It's been so incredibly helpful for me. So I wanted to share, kind of summarize part of a chapter that I read in there for you. So the book is called The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. And it's a relatively small book. It's not too long. So I highly recommend that if you come across this book in the library or somewhere that you can borrow it, definitely do it. It is a very popular book. Every single time I've tried to borrow it from the library, it has been on hold. Like every single time I can't renew it either because it's on hold. So I've had to check it out twice now. So the chapter that I want to summarize for you about keeping your heart chakra open is chapter 6, and the title is The Secrets of the Spiritual Heart. The page starts on 49. I have read this chapter probably 3 times already to try to really get it to sink in because it's just amazing, and it has really opened my eyes to a lot of things in my life and how I can improve certain things. So if you don't know already, we have 7 energy centers in our body, and they are called chakras. And any of the energy centers, including your heart, can have stored, unprocessed energy from the past. Let's see, I'm 29 right now. From when I was a baby all the way till now, I still, just like anyone else, have unprocessed energy that's just kind of circling around in there, and I haven't let it come up and then let it go. So imagine your heart kind of has like a valve where it can open and it can close. And that can happen many times throughout a single day. For instance, let's say that you meet someone, you really like them, you connect, and you feel like you're in love. So when you feel in love with someone, your heart opens for them or towards them. But as soon as they say something you don't like, or you get into a fight, you may not feel the love anymore. Maybe for an instant, maybe forever. Then that valve in your heart starts to close. So we can actually feel when our heart is open and when our heart is closed, especially if you really start to pay attention to your mood, to how you feel. If something feels good, if something feels not so good, that is what you might be opening or closing your heart towards. The events take place in the world, they're coming in through our senses, and that is energy coming within our being that we're experiencing and we're interpreting as we're living through them. So this is how the overall system of perception is supposed to work. Like we're going through a moment or we're experiencing a moment, we take that in and then we let it go. And then we go to the next moment, we're taking it in and then we let it go. And that's how someone is a fully aware being, where they're taking in what's going on around them, they process it and then they release it. They don't hold on to that unstored, unfinished energy that gets stuck in your heart sometimes. So the example that's used in this chapter in the book is, say that there is a guy who is driving on a highway and he's seeing tons of trees, he's seeing tons of buildings, he's seeing cars, he's seeing other people, dogs, whatever it is, you see a lot as you're driving somewhere. And he could be passing like thousands of trees and dozens of buildings, and he's not holding all of those images in his mind. It's like he sees it and then kind of lets it go as he processes it. Let's say he gets off the highway, and as he's driving, he sees a light blue Ford Mustang, which is the same car that his girlfriend has. And he sees 2 people hugging in the front seat. So at the physical level, nothing is different, but at the mental level, the impression didn't make it through him, because now he is so focused on Was that my girlfriend's car? If it was, who was she with? Why didn't she tell me about it? Maybe it was not her, or maybe it wasn't her car. There's just all these things that you start going round and round in your mind, trying to process it through your mind of what's going on. And then at that point, he's not aware of the trees, the buildings, the other cars anymore. I mean, he is to a degree, so he doesn't hopefully crash into anybody, but he's not really fully processing it and becoming fully aware of every moment that's passing by, because this one event has gotten stuck in his energy center. He didn't need to process all the trees, but for this event with the car and possibly being his girlfriend, he's trying to process. With events like this that happen in our lives, they don't just go away if we're not able to process them, they get stored. It can get stored for a very long time, for years and years and years. And the first thing is the energy tries to release through the forefront of your mind, and it holds it there in your consciousness. But if you keep pushing those memories or uncomfortable feelings or thoughts back down, then it gets stored into your heart or your heart chakra. And I know for me, I definitely still to this day have uncomfortable thoughts or memories, and I will consciously think like, I don't want to think about this right now. I'm just going to bury that, just push it deep back down somewhere, because I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to have to feel a certain way. I just want to ignore it and deny and suppress my emotions, which is not healthy by any means. So all of these emotions that don't get processed, they get stored into a deep storage within your heart. The disturbed energy patterns that you experience can basically become inactive after a while, as you start to forget about it, or you think you're getting over it, but you're not actually over it. You never fully processed it. And let's say an example with the guy and his girlfriend in the car, he never actually talks to her about it and asks her if that was her or anything. He just chooses to ignore it. Energy blockage is an impression from the past, and it can basically end up running your life subconsciously. You don't even realize it. The potential for these impressions can build and build and build, and it can restrict the amount of energy flow that's going through your heart chakra, letting very, very little energy coming in. And if they build up enough, it can lead to a state of depression. And in that state, everything becomes dark because you have very little energy flow that's coming to your heart and mind. You're at a very, very low vibration. And a lot of things, or everything that you're experiencing, is being filtered through a depressed filter. And even if you're not prone to depression, your heart can still become blocked over time. And for the last part of the example with the guy and his girlfriend and the blue Mustang, it says that, let's say 5 years later, this same guy is not with his old girlfriend, and he's now married to someone else. And he's driving again, and all of a sudden he sees another blue Ford Mustang with people hugging in the front. It's going to trigger that old stored emotions that are in your heart chakra, and it may cause you to feel fear, anxiety, it may cause you to feel sad or angry, even though you're not in the same situation, and it's not the same event that happened before, and this guy is more mature, he's older. Again, he's not with that person, but he still feels those emotions because he never fully released them. And so the solution that they've come up with, which I agree, is one, don't let those stored emotions just stay there. As they come up, and they will eventually come up, then you need to start to let them go. And I know that can be easier said than done, but what I would recommend personally that's worked for me is, if I'm feeling upset about something and I feel like I can't process it and there's just all this stored angry or sad energy, is I may go for a walk, get some fresh air, get some of that energy out, go exercise, maybe journal, write it all out, write a song, write a poem. I used to do that so many times when I was younger, when I was a teenager, and I would be heartbroken over a guy, I would write a poem about it. And as silly as it seemed at the time, or other people thought it was silly, it was a very cathartic emotional release for me, and it was a very healthy outlet. So find a healthy outlet. Also, you may not have to physically do anything, but just sit there and become comfortable with the uncomfortable. Like, you know it's uncomfortable to feel these sensations in your body, but as long as you let yourself feel them and let it come up, you can let them go. I did that a couple times just today. I had some emotion and I was about to bury it back down. And then I was like, no, I need to process this. And I was like, just let it be there. Just let the uncomfortable feelings and thoughts come up. Because I'd rather have all of this come up and be released than to keep storing it within my energy center for years or forever. It's like ripping a Band-Aid off. Like, have that little bit of pain for a few minutes or hours, who knows, and cry about it. Crying is a great energetic release. I know in the society, especially for guys, say like, man up, man, don't cry, but it's so healthy to cry because that stored energy can come up in other ways where it's like anger or violence or whatever it is, addictions. So yeah, I definitely recommend crying and just letting it go and not holding on to it. Don't hold on to your pain. It's not serving you. It's not doing anything good. The goal is to eventually just kind of let things go through you, like experience every moment in the present, instead of having these events coming in and always reacting and being stuck and centered and focused on whatever is bothering you or something that you didn't like. And then it's like you're living in the past because you're constantly thinking about it. And there's also positive energy that can be stored. Let's say it's not like something hurtful, it's something great. Like you were dating someone and they said they'd always love you and all this, and you keep replaying that in your mind and you're holding on to that in your heart even though you two have broken up. That can also cause you to have stored energy, and it makes it that much harder to move on, to meet someone else, or to just enjoy being single. So it's really, really healthy to just let certain emotions go that are no longer serving you. And I may make another video about this later on in more depth, because I think it's a very important subject. And another example I want to use, a personal example, which is going to sound very gross, but one of the first things that comes to my mind is when I was younger, or even now, but I hate the thought of throwing up. I hate throwing up. And I don't throw up very often, and I haven't in years, but I remember when I knew I needed to, you just have that feeling in your throat, you got to do it. I would mentally keep putting it off, being like, no, I'm going to get through this, I'm not going to throw up, I will not let myself throw up. And so then I would prolong feeling so terrible and so sick. And finally I would give up fighting and I would be like, I'm just going to let myself throw up. And as soon as I had that thought, like I'm going to let myself, then I would just do it and get it over with. And then I would feel so much better afterwards. So inevitably, if you got to throw up, you're going to throw up. Like you can't keep all of that in. And it's the same with that unstored energy. It's going to keep coming up and affecting different areas of your life forever. Because there's always going to be different events, different people, different things that are going to keep triggering that energy within you. And since reading that chapter in the book for the first time, I have practiced whenever I become angry about something or sad about something or just some unpleasant emotion, is I tell myself, or I actually talk to my heart, and I focus all my energy on my heart, and I start thinking or saying out loud, I'm like, heart, you will stay open. You're going to stay open no matter what. And we're going to feel this, and we're going to process this right now instead of holding on to it. And whenever I do that, I swear to you guys, I feel so much energy coming through coming into my heart chakra and throughout my entire body. And it feels so good to just remain open at all times, no matter what. But it is a practice and it's a conscious choice I have to make every single time. Okay, well, that is the end of my video. I really hope this was helpful to some of you. I highly recommend this book if you ever get to read it, and hopefully this will help you in some sort of way in the future or right now. I hope you guys are all having a good day or night, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.